kilometers. Evening, folks. I'm at Tesco in Mallow. Now, let me just put you guys down. Focus. There we go. Right. It's been a while since I've done a bit of filming. Reason for that being is that I've just been too damn busy. Not much has happened in the last 3 weeks. I've literally, this is, let's see now, I charged up on Friday, which is 2 days ago, which was the first time in 6 days that I had actually had to charge. So that just goes to show how little driving I've been doing. Now, I went on one long trip to Dublin. Myself and my wife went down and I picked up an item I'd bought online and we went to IKEA. Any excuse really, when you're going to Dublin you have to go to IKEA. And that particular trip didn't go as smooth as I had hoped. Now, I didn't film it, basically because I didn't have this camera with me and my phone was out of battery, storage, etc. So it was just a bad day. I really wish I had filmed it though, because it was a very interesting trip. Let me give you a summary. So we left our house at around 9:30 in the morning. We were in Portlaoise. We decided to charge. Let's see now. There's roadworks going on. Couldn't do my usual journey. Had to go through Fermoy, then onto the M8 up towards Dublin. Now, that adds an extra 15-20 kilometers onto the journey, not a big deal. However, after the last episode you probably noticed that Casual gave me a lovely error. I did not want to run the risk of upsetting my journey by actually getting that same error again. Now I must actually go back there sometime when I have some time and see if that particular charge point is still giving the same error. Haven't heard anything back from ASB. I asked them about, what happened there. Anyway, so I decided to bypass. I decided to do a quick charge in Cahir at the 22 kilowatt point. About 10-15 minutes, and enough for another, say, 20%, just to be sure that I could reach Urlingford. Reached Urlingford, found that the actual charge point didn't want to read my card again. Rang ESB. They started to charge remotely. The next stop, I didn't actually charge up fully, which in hindsight I regretted. Reason behind that is that I was thinking, we'll go to Portlaoise, have some lunch, and charge up at the same time. However, that charger did not want to work. Started, stopped, in the story. What seemed to be happening, and it got confirmed to me later on that day, is that the car, or the battery I should say, was probably a little bit on the warm side due to my driving and charging. And what seemed to be happening is that it started to charge. The charger wanted the charger, the charger in the car wanted the actual charge point to stop whilst it did some internal configuration and then start again. Now when that happened, the charge point stopped. It just thought that it was going to be disconnected. That was it. Now the reason why I say it got confirmed to me later is because later on that day we were in Nina on a DBT charge point, the same one as in Cashel. Now what I noticed there is I plugged in, the car started charging, then stopped. The screen on the charge point said waiting for start of charge command by the car or something like that. But the charger knew that it was on standby, if you will, for the car. That lasted for probably about 2 seconds. Whatever the car was doing, you could hear the fans starting to speed up, and then all of a sudden it started charging again. But the charge point didn't cut out. It continued charging, and therefore the charge was successful. With the other Siemens treble chargers, it did not seem to happen that way. It wanted to do the same thing, I think, and then the charge point cut out. The only charge point that didn't do that was the one in Blanchardstown, which I actually used later on that day. But Portlaoise didn't want to work after trying 2 other chargers, one of which was offline, one of which gave a current overload. Eventually got a charge at the train station, 22 kilowatt, yay, hunky-dory. Drove on to Blanchardstown. Blanchardstown was the very first fast or rapid charger that actually worked on my entire journey. At that stage, I had driven 240 kilometers. So it was the first charger in 240 kilometers that actually did work. So yeah, it was a very eventful trip, a very long day. I eventually ended up, after spending way too long in IKEA, which you do, and making wrong decisions with regards to the sat-nav, I eventually came home around 2:30 in the morning. So yeah, not a good idea to be going to IKEA with broken charge point. Anyway, in other news, we have finalized our bookings for our trip to Holland. So the entire journey is going to look like this. I am going to drive on the 29th of May. I'm going to drive from my house in Mallow to Dublin, where I will be picking up my wife, who will be arriving in Dublin Airport after visiting her sister for a few weeks. And then the following day we will be driving on, taking the ferry from Dublin to Holyhead, driving on to Hull, where we will hopefully arrive in the evening. I'm hoping to be there around 6 o'clock in the evening. Then from Hull we will take the ferry, overnight ferry, to Rotterdam. From Rotterdam we will be driving to my parents' house in Hartenberg in the east of the country. I've yet to work out the exact charge points, but that should be grand. Probably going to be doing a few touristy things along the way because we're passing a few good spots, and whilst we're there, hey, you may as well. Then on the way back we are going back through Belgium. We are going to drive down on, I think it's the 10th of June, thereabouts, 9th or 10th, to Ostend on the east coast of Belgium. East coast of Belgium. What am I saying? East coast of Belgium. It's the only coast of Belgium. On the coast of Belgium, for 4 nights of relaxation, doing a bit of sightseeing, you know, Bruges, the usual Belgian things. Might try some Belgian beer. Any recommendations anyway? Anyway, spending 4 days there. From there we'll be taking the ferry in Dunkirk in France, and on to Dover. From Dover on to Farnborough to visit my wife's sister and family, and from then onwards to Pembroke, and we will be back in Ireland on the, I think it's the 20th June. So yeah, it'll be a 3-week trip, and I can't wait. I'm seriously excited, and hopefully if I know any more details I will of course inform everyone. I'm planning on tweeting my progress, considering I have access to Twitter from the car. I will probably come up with a hashtag of some sort to tweet my progress, but it should be very, very, very interesting. I've made some contacts over in Holland, and I'm really looking forward to exploring the country in an electric car, and yeah, I will probably do a few day trips, or a day trip to Germany, see if I can find a working charge point in Germany, which means that if I can get that working, that basically Zoe has been going through 6 countries and charging in 5. So yeah, that'll be great. So that's been the updates for the last few weeks. So yeah, let's continue to the normal programming. Thank you guys. Bye. Right, folks. Good morning. As you know, it's been a while since I've put up a video. One of the things that I've been doing is a few days ago I picked up an energy monitor. I think it's a few months ago now. Somebody asked me how much energy does Zoe actually use during a charge. Now, as I think I've mentioned it before, I've only got a 3 kilowatt home charger. Now, that means that apparently, now I can charge at 3 kilowatt, obviously. However, one of the things that people say is that Zoe is less efficient at that level. So that got me thinking, especially since I got my electricity bill. Now, I don't have Night Saver. Or Economy 7 as it's called in the UK, or whatever it's called over in your local country. Basically what it is, it's cheaper rates after a certain hour in the evening and during the night. I don't have that. I'm a little reluctant to sign up on it because it requires installing a new meter, it requires, I think the actual day rate goes up, those kind of things. But it got me thinking anyway, going, how much is Zoe actually costing me for a charge? Now, my last electricity bill, which was for 2 months, was I couldn't really use the first time, my first bill, because I was in credit by a considerable amount, so I couldn't accurately actually look and see how much the car was actually costing me. But on my latest bill, the car is costing me approximately, in electricity, probably about €40 a month. Now, I don't charge at home a lot, so that struck me as a little bit expensive. So that got me thinking, going, how much am I actually paying for a charge? So I bought this energy monitor, which I have installed yesterday. Now, I haven't actually charged yet because the car, of course, was full. So over the next few days, I might do it this evening. I might just take the car out for a spin, try and empty it out, and I'll see, and I'll put her on a charge. I've established sort of what my base rate is, because of course my house isn't it's not like it's not using any energy during the night. So I want to see what my base rate is. So once I've established that, I'll put the car on the charge, and I should be able to calculate exactly how many kilowatts the car actually used. That's it really. I have a feeling I'm not going to like the number, because the car charges to 99% pretty much in a straight line, and then the last percent can take probably about an hour or so, depending on how bad the battery is. I think it needs to do balancing and all that kind of stuff. So I don't actually know how long a full charge is going to take, but it's probably going to take about 4 hours or so. If it is continuously using 3 kilowatts, then a full charge will probably take about 8 hours. So that would lead me to a figure of approximately, probably about 24-25 kilowatts. Considering it only has a battery of 22, I'm hoping that's going to be the calculation, but I have a weird feeling I'm not going to like it. So, that's the idea. Over the next few days, I'm going to try and see how much is this car actually costing me in electricity, and is it worth my while getting Night Saver? Especially considering that the public infrastructure at the moment is free, which is one of the reasons why I'm using it. Charging your car while you're walking your dog or doing some shopping. Very, very good. So that's it, folks, for this lovely, a little bit dreary, grey Monday morning, but lovely nonetheless. Bye. Hello, everyone. It's currently about 9:30 in the evening. I'm about to plug in the car to. I have it set to start charging at. Was it 1 o'clock? I think it's 1 o'clock. And I'm just looking forward to actually seeing what it is going to be like on the energy monitor. So I'm just going to plug it in now, and I'm going to have a quick peek and see if it is actually using any power while it's plugged in. I don't think so, but we'll see. So I'll go and check that. Plugged in. There you go. 29%. So it's about a third full. Given a 22 kilowatt battery with a little bit of reserve, so 2/3 will probably be around 14 to 15 kilowatt that it'll have to use in order to get the battery to 100%. That's the guess. Doesn't include any sort of inefficiencies or anything like that. So I'm going to be very curious to see how this actually will pan out. I have it set to start, like I said, at 1 o'clock in the morning, just to make sure that it's not going to interfere or get masked, I should say, by anything in the house. In all fairness, I think will pretty well know when it's actually going to start charging, because it's a pretty good increase. So I suppose we'll just have to wait and see until tomorrow. I might just check and see if it's actually using any power whilst it's currently plugged in. I don't think it should, but let's go and find out. Now, right, I just took out my laptop. As you do in the evenings, you sit in the car with your laptop. Okay, so at the moment, I don't know if you can see this, at the moment, my house, I'll just line you up here. At the moment, my house is using 1.2 kilowatt, as you can see in the corner there. Now, that's actually quite a lot, and I have a feeling that my wife is actually using the microwave, because she was talking about warming something up. As you can see down here at the bottom, there's been, it's pretty steady with the exception of the occasional spikes. So there's been an oven and the occasional kettle and that kind of stuff. Like I was making dinner there, you turn some lights on, it gets dark, that kind of stuff. Speaking of getting dark. Anyway, I'll use the laptop to light my face. Anyway, at the moment, so the car has just gone dark, and my energy usage in the house has dropped to 0.37 of a kilowatt. So the car actually used some energy just plugged in. That's an interesting thing. Either that or my wife actually stopped using the microwave at near enough the exact same time. Which is also very possible. I must look deeper into that. Anyway, so at the moment the house is using 0.36 kilowatt, and I've got the car set to charge at 1 AM, so I guess I'll just have to wait until tomorrow morning to see how many kilowatts the car is actually going to be using at charging at 3 kilowatts for about 2/3. So my guess is going to be around 15 to 16 kilowatt. I'd be happy with that, more or less. Time will tell. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Alright, good morning everybody. Ooh. It is 7 minutes past 7 on a beautiful sunny morning. It's a Friday morning here in North Cork. Now, last time I spoke to you guys, I was going to do some measurements on how much electricity Zoe uses during a charge. I did. I haven't had a chance to actually properly look at the data, but I plugged her in at 29% the battery was. I had the charge timer set to let's see now, to actually start charging at 1 o'clock in the morning. It finished to charge at 7:40-ish, according to the emails I get.
So that took about 6.5 hours, 6 hours and 40 minutes, say, and that was for a 2/3 charge. That was from, say, 30 to 100%. Now that means, when you extrapolate it, that a full charge would have probably taken the bones of 7 hours. The reason why I'm saying, probably 8 hours actually. The reason why I'm saying that is I have a feeling, when I had a quick peek at the graph, I have a feeling that the 99% was reached at around 6 o'clock in the morning, which would match. And that it took another hour and 14 minutes to do its last cell balancing and whatever the heck it does. I haven't had, like I said, I haven't had a good look at the actual graph, which I will do this evening. Just because the way the weekend went, or the week went. So, but anyway, this morning, as I said, it's now 10 minutes past 7. I'm on my way to Kilkenny, and I will be staying overnight in Kilkenny. I've got a conference in Kilkenny today, and then tomorrow I will be driving from Kilkenny down to Dublin for another meeting. And from here to Kilkenny is about 100 miles or 160 kilometers, whichever way you're inclined. I plan on doing that, one stop, but given the layout of where the chargers are, I only have 2 fast chargers on sort of somewhat en route, being Fermoy and Urlingford. Now, given my recent trouble with the Urlingford one, and the fact that it's the only one around for quite a while, I'm not going to take a chance to go directly to Urlingford. Instead, what I will be doing is I will be charging up in Fermoy. I'm currently at about 47%-ish, which reminds me actually to reset my trip counters, otherwise my mileage claim goes out the window. So I'm currently at around 47%, I think the car said when it was turned on, and I am gonna charge up to about 95% in Fermoy. That should get me the remaining about 120 kilometers to Kilkenny. This is all assuming that the weather stays the way it is at the moment. It's 5 degrees, but it should warm up, and it is all based on the fact that I'm going to have to take it easy, because 120 kilometers is not something you do at the moment anyway, at motorway speed. So I'm going to take it handy, as they say here, and that should get me to Kilkenny. Then tonight I'm staying over in Kilkenny at a hotel there. The hotel actually, according to the map at least, didn't have a charging point. I might suggest it when I'm actually checking in. I don't know if anybody else does that, but if I stay at a hotel that does not have a charge point, I comment on the fact that they don't have a charge point. And hopefully they will oblige us EV drivers and actually install a charge point. If any hotel owners are watching, it's a great little thing. It doesn't cost that much, and it offers a great service for people staying at your hotel or bed and breakfast or whatever. And it is a plus on the old eco credentials. So, but first stop anyway, Fermoy, and I'll plan my route from there when I get to Fermoy. Bye. Right, we're in Fermoy. I've noticed something strange with these, the triple standard charge points. I think I mentioned it earlier. I plugged in and it started charging. It showed 50 minutes remaining on my dashboard, and after probably about a minute or two, it flashed up battery charge impossible, and it cut off the charge. Now, what I think happened, I plugged in and it started charging. I did not hear the fans. You might be able to hear it in the background. I like hearing those fans, because when I hear those fans, it means that the car is charging at 43 kilowatt, or at least is trying hard. I have a feeling these particular charge points have a problem with stepping up or down the speed of charge. Now, this car, as you probably know, can charge anywhere from 3 kilowatt, like my home charge point, all the way to 43 kilowatt, which is what I'm doing at the moment. And in order to do that, I would imagine there'd be configuration changes and, little internal things that the charger needs to do to handle each different power level. Now, I would assume that there would be a pause message sent down to the charge point to say, listen, hang on a minute, I'm just going to make a change. Car does its change and then goes, right, fire away. I don't think these actual charge points are at least configured to handle it, because the first time, like I said, I plugged in, it started charging. After 2 minutes, it flashed battery charge impossible and actually stopped. And it only flashed battery charge impossible, didn't actually stay on the screen. It literally just a small little flash, that thing cut out. Right now we've been charging fine for the last 4 or 5 minutes. I continuously hear the fan stopping and going, so it's at maximum level. The charge rate is going up rather rapidly. It's at 40% at the moment. I think it was with 27% when I started. So it's gonna stay like this. Now, I must actually email ESB and see what the deal is with this, because that's what from observation, is what I think is happening. Anyway, we are charging. So, like I said before, I'll try and get this to about 95%, and we shall see how far it is to Kilkenny. Right, bye. Okay, we are done. 32 minutes. And I actually got distracted sending that email that I said I would send to ESB, which I did. I got a little bit distracted, and before I knew it, the car was already at 96%, and I hadn't even gone and bought myself a drink. So we are at 100%. Looking at my estimate range, it's saying 126 kilometers estimate range. Now, apparently my destination is approximately 123 kilometers away. I've got 126, so that's going to be close. I might see if I take the alternative route, because there is a faster route, allegedly, and an eco route. Of course, eco route would mean, I can actually hopefully get there. It's a little shorter. 114, no. That looks a little too much like cross country to me, although it's not too bad. So it is saying it is going to take me, let's see now. Come on, bring up totals here, please. $114 kilometers. So 114 kilometers seems manageable compared to 123, so we should be okay. Right, talk to you guys later. Right, I think I'm gonna chicken out a little and do a 5-minute top-up stop in the car and get some sweets anyway. I currently have 73 kilometers left to my destination and only about 55 estimate range. Now, it is clawing back, as in it was about a 30 kilometer of a difference. It's less than 20 now, and I probably would make it, considering the rest of the journey is a lot slower speed. But I'll make a small stop and I'll just top up a little, just to be on the safe side. Okay, we are back on the road. That was it was a little more than a 5-minute stop. It's a cute till. It's now 9:02, so that was about less than 10 minutes anyway. I'm about even now on my range and my remaining driving distance, so I'm happy enough with that. And I'm due to arrive on time, which is always a bonus. So yeah, onwards. So we all of a sudden hit a 15% gradient, and all of a sudden my sat-nav decides to say, oh, you don't have no battery power to reach your destination. I'm on 35 kilometers away from my destination, and I have approximately 42 kilometers left. We hit a 15% gradient, so that was probably one of the reasons why I decided to yell at me. I'm not worried, to be honest. Anyway, it is a lovely morning with the Kilkenny countryside. Onwards. Sat-nav is really funny. A few kilometers back, about 10 kilometers back, I'd say a bit more, it wanted me to take a left instead of actually going straight, which is what the sign said. Decided to go straight on anyway. I prefer to follow the signs rather than the sat-nav, and I ended up knocking 10 minutes off my ETA. The other thing is that that 15% gradient that we had on the way in is usually followed by downhill, which it was. I'm currently on that downhill, stuck behind a tractor sadly, but hey. Still have the exact 42 kilometers left on my estimate range, and I have 28 kilometers to my destination, so that should be no problem. I'm a little puzzled why the sat-nav reckons it's a problem, but yeah, we'll see. See if I can actually pass this tractor out. It's wobbling a bit. Right, so onwards to Kilkenny. Bye. Now, and we are here. Would you believe it, now my actual colleague is driving right in front of me. The sat-nav had me going to the B&B version, which is across the road from this hotel. So I was looking around thinking, this is awfully small. And I had to look at the website, and I actually found that it was right across the road. If I had looked over my left shoulder, I would have seen it. So, time to get on with the conference, and I think I'll talk to you guys when I am done here for today. Goodbye. Right, good evening. That was an interesting convention, which is now over. I have since actually driven to the hotel where I will be staying tonight. I've checked in, and I am now going to go back out to find a charge point and some food. Now, Kilkenny has several charge points. I have no idea what their outputs are, but I'm going to assume, like most charge points, they're going to be 22 kilowatts. So there is one at the end of this road, and so I'm gonna park there. I'm gonna find something to eat and then relax for the evening, and I will be talking to you guys later and go over the graph that my energy monitor actually made, because I'm actually quite interested in doing the sums. Right, food and a charge. Bye. So here we are, John's Green. I like the sign, parking electric vehicle only, and it kind of suggests parking. No, it should really be charging electric vehicles only. Anyway, here is my thing for the moment. I've got 153 kilometers done, average consumption 15.2, average speed 58, so I'm pretty happy with that. Could have probably made it on the one charge, but yeah, I'm alright with
I'm alright with the 5 minute charge, or sorry, the 12 minute charge that I did. It didn't really inconvenience me at all. So, time to plug in and see if this baby is working. Now, there we are, 17%. Brilliant. 1 hour and 10 minutes remaining, so it is 22 kilowatt. Even better. Right, time to go find some food. Right, so we're at 99%, as one can see. Not entirely sure how long I've been away, but probably about an hour, I'd say. So yeah, that should get me to probably Nice tomorrow, I would say. I might do I don't know. Nice is an awful spot. Don't like it. I might see how I'm going. I might actually just see if I can either make it to the hotel where I have the meeting tomorrow, or top up in Carlo or something. I don't know. Must have a little bit of a look online tonight. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my hotel room and we'll have a look at that graph for the energy monitor. Bye. Right, good evening everybody. So here we are on the 14th of April. I put the car on charge at 1 o'clock in the morning. You can see the baseline of my house is about 0.3 kilowatts per hour, which equates to a total cost of about 5 euro cents per hour. So, as you can see here in the graph, I am about 0.57, but little low, say 57, 58 cent an hour the charge is costing me at home at my current rate, which isn't Night Saver. If I had Night Saver, it'd be about half. Now, what I find interesting is this bit right here. So from around 6 o'clock onwards, if you see that, it seems to drop the power from a healthy 3.6-ish, roughly. And there seem to be three distinct difference levels, sort of drawing down. Now my house is drawing 0.3 normally, so it drops it to about 2.3 until it's finished. You can see it dropping right off back to its 0.3-ish. So it is a little, it's very interesting to see, to be honest. So this was a 60% charge, which I have a feeling 99% was probably reached around here. That would be around, what, 4 hours? 5 hours, yeah. After about 5 hours, and it spent another 1 hour and 42 minutes doing whatever that is. Now, I totted up the cost of all the things, taking a baseline of 0.3 or 5 cent an hour as my actual baseline cost of my house, which came to the conclusion that based on the amount of money I pay per kilowatt, that's the amount of energy the car used for a 60% charge. That's a 60% charge. So let's see now, it used 22 kilowatt to charge 60% of the battery. Okay, so that means if I extrapolate that, and if I say we're going to divide by 2 and then times 3, that's the amount of energy it would need to do a full charge. That's 33 kilowatt, roughly. Okay, so if I multiply that by my unit price, which again, as I said, is not Night Saver, a full charge would cost me €5.50. Now, more interestingly than that, I'll just get the original number back. More interestingly than that, considering I've got a 22 kilowatt battery, it actually means that the charger is has an efficiency rating of, let's see now, 22
and divided by 33, an efficiency rating of 67%. That is very, very low. I'm a little shocked by that, to be quite honest. So that means that for every, every, say, kilowatt it uses, only 60% of that actually ends up, 67%. Only 67% of that ends up actually going into the battery. That's quite bad. I must run a test at somebody who has a 7 kilowatt charger. Somebody with a 7 kilowatt charger around who would like to help me with this particular experiment. Please drop me a line in the comments below. But I'm pretty amazed at this. Right, guys, I am gonna go to bed. I've got a long day tomorrow, and looking forward to a good night's sleep. So right, as they say on Top Gear, or said on Top Gear, on that bombshell, good night. So I got up a little early this morning to have a look at Kilkenny Castle. Really, really nice. When I say a little early, it's 9:30 on a Saturday morning. Beautiful Saturday morning. So before I pop off to Dublin, I decided to just do a little bit of a field trip. Very, very pretty. Right, that was nice. A lovely sunny morning at Kilkenny Castle, which you might still see over my shoulder. Now on my way to Carlow for a charge stop, and I might actually change that to Nice. We'll try Carlow first. I've never been to Carlow, so we'll try the Carlow one first. And then we're off to Dublin. So I will see you guys in Carlow. Bye. Right, in Carlow. This is a model I haven't seen before, or I haven't used before, I should say. I've seen him. So let's see whether or not this works. It'll be interesting. Oh, no bothers, as you can probably hear. Car's charging away. The fans are speeding up, so it's nice and fast. I must actually see if I can get the car washed. Look at this. It's just all sand. The joy of having a black car. You see every single smudge. The actual mud flap seems to be holding up though. I don't have too much trouble with that. Right, I'm going to explore this. I saw a nice army surplus store on the other side of this supermax. So I think I'll have a browse through there whilst this is charging away. This is one of the drawbacks of these things. Look at this now. I mean, the sun is shining on it. I can barely read it. Anyway, I have apparently been here for about, half an hour. Because that's, I don't know if you can read it, but that automatic ending thing was set to 2 hours. So I'm going to press stop and we'll see what happens. Yes, it seems to have stopped. Excellent. Okay, so I need to grab my keys and actually get my... There you go. Hang it back. Wonder how many Zoes have actually used this. Well, so far so good. And we are now going to go straight down to the hotel where I have my meeting because they have a charge point. And it's well within range. So I guess I'll talk to you guys when I've reached the hotel. Goodbye. So on my way to Dublin, going straight to the hotel as I said, decided to take the eco route because I'm probably about an hour early. So I let the sat-nav take me along an eco route, which is always nice. It's when you've got the time, an eco route is nice. It takes you through all sorts of places you've never seen before, like look at little villages like this one. Alternatively, eco route can send you down what it perceives as roads, but are really just dirt tracks. So yeah, it's a lovely sunny day. It's about 12 degrees. Not a lot. It's a bit of a breeze, but it's not a lot. Hopefully now the day will stay like this and everything will go smoothly, and I can then say that this is officially then the smoothest trip to Dublin that I've ever done. Yeah, so far so good. So on to the Louis Fitzgerald Hotel in Dublin. Okay, just happened to be passing through Naas as part of the route I was driving, and saw a charge point appear on the map, or more or less on the map. The map on the sat-nav thought it was on the other side of that building over there, so I ended up sort of having to drive into that supermarket thing, but it was actually all the way over here. Nicely painted, free, no signs yet, but the poles are there, so a work in progress, methinks. And yeah, so time to go grab a bit of a refreshment. Nearly at the hotel. As I was looking at charge points in the area, I noticed there was a fair few new ones. I did a recent update of the Arling. One of the things that popped up was a new update for the charge points, and it looks like there's actually a good few charge points here in Ireland added, which is good news. Because this one, for example, wasn't on it, and I don't even know whether or not I can actually use it. I'm just going to go and have a look. On the map it says AC and DC, so I should be able to use it, but apparently from what I've seen on pictures it looks like there's only one actual cable there. Now perhaps there's a socket there for one of my own cables, but I'll have to have a look. It's right over here, although you can't see it because I'm actually parked in the opposite wrong way. But there's only one cable on it. So let's have a peek and see what it's like. No, it looks like it's a Chatamo fast charger only. It doesn't look like there's actually any plug or anything like that. Here, this looks like it's one of the older ones. I better let ESB know to actually remove the AC from the map, because it's a little, you know, confusing for us AC users. Anyway. No, made it. Looks like somebody's already beat me to the charge point, but that's alright. It looks like it's a tethered unit by the looks of it. So I wouldn't have been able to make use of it anyway. Oh well. I've got enough to get to my next charge point. Time for the meeting, so. Hello everybody. That meeting went on for way too long, but it was a good constructive meeting. It is now 5:30, as in 5:30 for people who don't really speak English. 5:30, and I'm on my way to Junction 14 for a charge and dinner, and then for the long trek home. Hoping everything will be a little bit uneventful. After the meeting, I spoke to a Leaf owner who was at the meeting, and he has, I don't know if people who drive Leafs or who have done research into EVs have probably heard of Leaf Spy. What it basically is it gives you Leaf Spy is a little app that you can run on mobile phones and tablets that give you a readout of battery percentage, and it gives you individual battery cells. It keeps track of the amount of charges that you've done and all that kind of stuff, and that actually comes from the car via I think it's called an ODB2 adapter or something like that. If that's the wrong spelling, I'll put it up in underneath here. So anyway, the car has one because I think Renault use it to get battery statistics and things like that, and it's actually inside the tray in front of the USB port and things. I'll show it to you guys later. But anyway, the adapter fits perfectly fine. And I was just curious to see what the Leaf Spy app would make of information is coming from a non-Leaf. I was kind of hoping there'd be generic codes, but there doesn't appear to be. The app basically gave up an error and then said it was going to try the Leaf again in so many minutes, so it didn't work. But it actually got me thinking, sort of going, if anybody with any bit of programming knowledge has a way of actually getting the code commands coming from Zoe, you could actually make your own app, which would be kind of awesome. And I know our battery is covered by the battery leagues and all, yada yada yada. But for all the Zoe owners who actually own their battery, who either have the Zoe I or who are lucky enough to live in Norway, who actually own their battery, it might be interesting to develop an app like that. I think the only reason why we don't have an app like that is because the car is not for sale in the United States. Anyhow, I would call on anybody with any bit of programming knowledge to develop a bit of a Leaf Spy app or something like that. I would be very, very interesting to see the battery pack data, like battery temperature and all that kind of stuff from a Zoe. But anyway, so I am probably about 15-20 minutes away from my charge stop and my thing, so I suppose I'll talk to you guys there. It'll probably be very, very uneventful because that charger is generally very reliable, and if that charger isn't, there's a good few backups around. I have to go back through Fermoy due to roadworks and due to the fact that I have to actually pick up 2 packages in Fermoy. So I actually have to go through Fermoy. So my way back basically is I'm forced to use Junction 14. I'm not going to go near Portlaoise. I have had very bad experiences in Portlaoise, if any regular viewers have seen that. So I'm going to go straight to Urlingford, try that charger, and then on to Fermoy, and hopefully it'll be very, very uneventful. But if it isn't uneventful, I will let you all know. Okay, first dinner. I'm absolutely right when I said earlier, the last update for the amount of charge points that I did on the R-Link actually really helped. Junction 14 is now actually on my map. It's amazing. So I have 2 charge points in that one location according to my map, because I had manually added it myself. So that's actually good. I wonder what other charges are actually there. That's intriguing. I've only added charge points along the route from Mallow to Dublin, so I might actually just check and see if the manually added ones are actually surplus now, in which case I'll obviously remove them. But it's good to see that the charge points are actually being updated by Renault. Good job. Now, if we can actually get past your charge point, it might not be compatible due to the cable layout error. For people who haven't seen it before, is that a lot of charge points are coming up as being incompatible. When I know that all charge points, well, most charge points are. There are a few charge points that are on the map that will never be compatible because they just aren't. It's good that they're actually there. Excellent. So that's an improvement that I've immediately noticed. So that just goes to show, guys, it actually pays to keep your charge points updated, or the actual R-Link updated. So I might actually show people on how to do it. ID for a future episode. R-Link. Anyway, dinner. Bye. And the answer is yes. See the fact that there's 2 charge points now? That's the one that was added by Renault. And this is where the actual charge point is, which is where I actually physically added it. So that probably means that I can, well, I noticed other ones being there already as well, so I might keep an eye out and see whichever one is missing. I think car was another one that I
added manually. And yeah, I must see if I can see which ones I can remove, because there's no point obviously to have 2 charge points there. Right, okay, time to plug in and grab something to eat. I still have 20 kilometers left should something go wrong here, so I can go find another charge point. But this should be fine. This one has been ridiculously reliable, and all the lights are on, so it should be fine. But let's go and see what if it actually works. Yeah, charging. 16% left. That was pretty okay. I'll give it a full charge because I don't know what's going to happen in the next leg. I have to sit down and see. As I said, I'll try Erlingford and see if that works. And if that works, we'll be fine. Ideally, I'd like to do Erlingford and then Fermoy and then home. But we'll see what happens. Right, food first. I'm starving. It's nearly 6 o'clock. So, let's see now my total trip report so far. Let's see now. Oh, stop it. Really, really wish they could actually get rid of that. So, vehicle. I think it is electric vehicle, new. Where would it be? Onboard computer. Yes, that. Not necessarily the trip thing I was going to show you, but anyway, it's good enough. 15.6. I'm very happy with that. Total distance so far 329.2 kilometers. Awesome. Okay, excellent. So dinner time, and I say by the time I am home there'll be another 200 added to that total, I'd say. Okay, food. Bye.
Right, on the road again. I think it was 5 minutes to 6 when I pulled into junction 14, and it is now 18:50, so that was a little less than an hour the charge took. Which is quite good if you think about it. I charged up all the ways to 99%, which turned into 100% after I looked at it. The car showed an estimate range of 130 kilometers, which would be good because I think my next leg is about 100 kilometers. So I kind of needed to stay at 130 kilometers, which no doubt it won't. So next stop, I'm going to try Erlingford. It's about the only option I have, really. Portlaoise is never really a go. And yeah, we'll try Erlingford. Might see if Abbey Leaks, which is a town not too far from Erlingford, about 20 kilometers away from Erlingford, has a charge point. I've never tried a sorry, never chew and talk. Yeah, I might try Abbey Leaks and see what it's like. I've never actually been there, so it'll be good to know, one, that it has a charge point, number 2, where it is, how fast it is, etc, etc. And it might allow me to give it a little bit of a boost before I dive into Erlingford. Right, onwards anyway. It's a beautiful sunny day. Stomach is full. Had a nice dinner. EV driving is not very good for your cholesterol. You end up eating a lot of fast food just from restaurants. So yeah, onwards. Bye now. Actually made a complete calculation mistake. Erlingford wasn't 100 kilometers away. I'm mixing it up with the distance between Erlingford and other places. Erlingford is only another 20 or 30 kilometers away, so I have I'll make that, no problem. Made a bathroom stop in Abbey Leaks just because I forgot to actually go to the bathroom at junction 14. Too much info probably. But whilst I was there, I gave Zoe a bit of a rinse, the jet wash. The car was looking pretty okay, but I wanted to get rid of the actual sort of residual, I don't know what you'd call it, sand, I suppose. I showed it to you earlier. I don't know if you could actually see it. They were like dried up water drops, probably from the last time we had rain or something like that. But I gave Zoe a nice bath, jet wash,
wax and all that. So she's looking tip-top, at least from the outside. Well, the inside isn't too bad, I suppose. So, next stop, Erlingford. Time for a break then as well. Right, we're in Erlingford and we're charging. Can't believe it read the card. Fans are starting up. It appears to be going great. It's brilliant. Could this be the very first time I travel to Dublin without any problems? I hope so. It's saying 35 minutes full, which is great because that's all I really need. And then the next stop will be for Moy, and hopefully it'll go just as smooth as this one. Awesome. Now, I am right, as in they've updated the charging stations in the Arling, but what I'm noticing is that all the town names seem to be gone. Yeah, and that still pops up, but that's still something different. But if you notice, like I'm in Erlingford at the moment, this is the one that I saved, you can tell by the star. This is the new one that has appeared. It just says Kilkenny, Texaco. Now, we are at Texaco, I agree. But would it not have been better if it said Erlingford, Texaco service station? Now, I believe, but I'm going to check this, I believe that is the exact line it says on the ESB map. So perhaps they've just transferred the data from the ESB map and just copied the wording and hope for the best. I don't know, I'll have to check that. But you know, at least you can still go, you know, find, and you can oh actually no, that's not the way where it's supposed to be. If you go, say, near my location or in city, so I'm gonna go in city, if I say Erlingford, you know, it will bring up the correct charge points, even though you don't quite know where they are. But at least, you know, when you bring up the map, you have you know, some bit of an idea where it is, because there's your address. So yeah, I don't know. The other thing is that if you look at that, it says it has 2 points, but it says a question mark, and you don't quite know what point it is. You then have the symbol up here which just says standard, but this is actually a fast charge point. So if I go select, this is what you get. It says your car socket selection cable is not compatible with the system. Now, I know they're compatible because, you know, this is just the way that I've been driving this for long enough now. But anybody who isn't from the area might be, you know, thrown off by it. Any non-Irish person. I don't know, maybe I'm just making things up, or maybe I've just seen problems when there are none. But I would have expected Renault, or at least ESB, to pass on the information about exactly what type of socket it was, how fast the charger was, that kind of stuff. And I would have expected the actual R-Link to sort of know that. Now, I know things change very quickly, but at least have some of them right. I mean, once the charge point goes in, it doesn't really change much. So I don't know. Other people have commented about the same thing, that their R-Link keeps telling them that their potential charge point is incompatible. I don't know. If you notice, the top one that I selected has a different symbol. If you can actually see it, you can't really see it. Come on, show the contrast for God's sake. No, you can't. Anyway, it has a different symbol. Oh yeah, here you go. It's somewhat of a different symbol. You can see there's only one lightning bolt on the bottom 4, whereas the top one has 3. That's because I've put the charge point in as a fast charge point, not as a standard charge point, which would be the single lightning bolt would be. I don't know. Strange. But anyway. Yeah. Everything seems to be going to plan here. I shall go and grab some refreshments, and hopefully by then the car will be more or less charged, and the next stop will be for Moy. Talk to you there. Okay, 26 minutes later and we are back on the road. Battery's at 100%, or close enough to it, and it is approximately 90 kilometers to our destination, and we have 117 in the tank according to the car. So that should be no problem. So if everything goes according to plan, if Fermoy actually works as it should, I might actually have a trouble-free journey to Dublin. It's amazing.
R6
Thank you very
39
much.
Main
Yes,
Street.
yes, I know where I'm going, but thank you. I'm just talking to viewers here, so please shut up. Anyway, right guys, I'll talk to you guys when I am in Fermoy, because I think you've seen the bit between Urlingford and Fermoy numerous times. So, ta-ra. One thing worth noting is that during that last charge, I actually noticed the back fans going as well. So the battery is obviously getting a little bit warm after doing I don't know how many kilometers today. And yeah, that seems to be sort of I've driven fairly modestly in the last well, today really. I haven't really gone over, say, between 95 and 100 kilometers an hour. Trying to sort of minimize the heat going into the battery, just to see if it would actually make a difference. I do wonder if it did. It certainly doesn't make any difference with regards to charging times or anything like that. It seems to be, if you have a point at some stage where driving faster means that you'll get somewhere faster. It also means you're running out of battery faster, so you're going to have to find some form of middle point of what is a good enough speed to actually keep going at, and what's the best for charging times, because the car seems to sort of want to charge faster if the battery is a little colder. So I don't know. I'm certainly happy that at the moment I've had no issues today. Knock on wood if I had any. But yeah, it's so far it's been great. Sun setting and it's nice blue sky out there at the moment. It's been great for today. So we're on our way to Fermoy. I'm due to arrive there at 9:20, which is about 45 minutes away, so that's pretty okay. 83 kilometers of distance left, and I've got 103 kilometers, so I've got about a 20 kilometer buffer, so that should be fine. Yeah, brilliant. Talk to you guys in Fermoy. Now, last charge of the day, Fermoy. You can hear the fans going. I think we were at 26% when we started. Let's see now where we're at. 29, 45 minutes till full. No problem so far. Amazing. Great. I'll just give this about 10-15 minutes. I don't need a full charge. I'll give it about 10-15 minutes and it'll more than get me home. It's been great so far. So I'll talk to you guys when I'm home. It looks like I'm actually going to make it in a reasonable amount of time without any setbacks. And just as I actually say that there has been no problems, there's a problem. I think it's saying check connections. Yeah. Ah well, I've got enough to actually get me home, so I think that's exactly what I'll do. I'll just go home. Yeah, so this charger has stopped again. It seems to be doing the same thing as what it did before, but now that I have a hot battery or a warm battery, it seems to not want to restart. I've got 48 kilometers left, on my guess as such. I think I'm at 38% or something on that line. It's about 30 kilometers or 35 kilometers to home, so that should be no problem, and I'll charge up at home tonight. Yeah, but this particular unit, or this particular model, it's not just this particular unit. I've seen the same with other units of the same make, but in different locations. That once the battery is warm, or hot I should say, if the battery is hot, this unit has an issue. I'm quite sure that the car wants to do X, Y and Z, and that the actual unit isn't actually up to scratch or configured properly. And yeah, which is a shame, because longer journeys, it's something that you'd really want to do. And if you're like me, you do them a lot, or a lot more than you thought you would anyway. When I originally did my mileage estimate, I said to myself that I would probably end up going to Dublin twice a year. I think this was my 4th time going to Dublin in 6 months. Fourth time going to Dublin in 6 months, and I'm actually planning on going all around the country in the next few weeks to do the photographic rally. I must schedule a bit of continuous time off and plan a few things here and there, but I am planning on going travelling for a few days. My wife is away, so hey, why not? Right, on home, and that'll be the end of the day. I'll give you a summary report when I'm home on my totals, but so far my totals are looking very, very good. So, yeah. Homewards. And we're home again. I'm sure if you can read that, but 15.8 average consumption, total distance 515.8 kilometers, which would be the distance over the last 2 days. So that's the Kilkenny trip as well as going to Dublin and back. And average speed 63 kilometers. So that reflects sort of the lower speed I've been keeping, but the consumption is quite good. 15.8. I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, in spite of the charger in Fermoy acting up, 17 kilometers left. Probably about 13-14%, I would say. I don't even think I'll plug in tonight. I'll just go down to Tesco tomorrow or the train station and take my dog for a walk, considering it's Sunday and it's meant to be a lovely, beautiful sunny day. So I'm quite sure the dog will want a walk and a swim. So I think that's probably a good idea for tomorrow. Anyway, I think I'll wrap it up for this episode. Thanks very much for watching and letting me ramble on with these things. I really appreciate everybody actually viewing it and subscribing. So don't forget to subscribe and like and share and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think I have what day are we living at? I think today is the 18th. Yeah, today's the 18th of April, so a little over 5 weeks left until my real electric journey is going to start. Yeah, can't wait. So yeah, probably my next episode will probably be about. I plan on doing most of the photographic rally, if I get time off. I'll try and do as much as I can in one go, but I might have to split it up in 1 or 2 things with work commitments and things like that. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside, grab a cup of tea, and go to bed. I am knackered. So again, thanks for watching, and see you guys again. Bye.